Right then peeps, hello. Not a lot's been happening with the ambulance really, still doing electrical wiring. I know I'm mental for electrical wiring. Basically we've got the main fuse box up there, which handles, now it handles just this driver's side of the van, because I was getting to the point where I only had one fuse left and I've still got to put the diesel heater supply and trigger lives through this fuse box, and I've still got to put the water pump through this fuse box. That's mainly down to my how can I call it, anal retentativeness. I like everything to be individually fused. Every single power point on this wall, those two power points there you see, individually fused. That power point individually fused, and that one, and that one. Roof lights individually fused. Have to excuse the noise, it's freezing in here, so I've got the engine running on scene mode with the van locked up in case someone nicks it and drives off while I'm standing in the back. And I've got the diesel heater going, which will warm this place up in no time. So anyway, back to the fuse box. Because I like to fuse everything individually to give me a bit of headway with the cable sizing. I mean, the cables that run out of here are like 10 amp cables, but they run at 5 amps maximum, 2.5 amps normal. Because I've done weird things like I've fitted in, these are running on the fluoros at the moment from the Phoenix system. I've fitted LEDs into the same fitting, and I've fitted two lots of LEDs into the same fitting, and I can switch them on and off individually. It's actually just over a 4 amp draw. That's 2.1 amps. So I'm running a 5 amp fuse in a 10 amp cable. That's how I like it, okay? It's just how I am, I'm weird. I like everything to be individually fused. That way, if anything blows, I can leave that system until I can get round to it, and I can get on with doing what I've got to do. Anyway, enough of that. So, because of running out of fuses there, because I say literally I've got near side roof light, off side roof light, then I've got 12 volt TV point. It's got a mini fuse in at the moment because I've run out of the larger size fuses. That's for the TV point. That's for the double USB for the PlayStation and in our TV box. That's for the one USB. That's for another single USB. That's for the single USB with the power on it. At the moment, these two are the roof fans. I've got one roof fan for this side, and that's for the roof fan at the back, which I haven't swapped over yet. Because what I've done is I've added this second live cable to the fuse box. Simply so I don't have to run it down to the battery. There's no point. I've picked it up. It goes up here through the roof. Yes, I know it turns black, but that's all I had. Runs through that trunking that I fitted to take the network cable. The network cable now runs to that back cupboard there and runs down to the bottom where the Phoenix controller will be, in the boot or in the work area. I should be under my bed. It runs along this cupboard, through the top of that cupboard, all along here behind this head crash pad, and it runs to what is now my new fuse box. This fuse box is just for this side of the van, so it will run the roof light. There's 6 fuses in it. It will run the roof light, the roof fan, the CCTV system I've got to install, which needs a 12 volt feed. There's the live wire you can see coming out the bottom. There's the earth going over there to an earth point. If you can see that, going over to an earth point. Using my weird stalk light. That leaves me 3 fuses on this side, one of which, sorry, these are from the old cupboard lights, one of which will be going, or 2 of which are going to be going outside to the scene lights. Now the scene lights, or the alleyway lights, are those up there. Right, okay peeps, this is the general idea. I'm going to stick 2 strips of LEDs inside the alleyway lights on the side of the van, and then only on the passenger side, and that'll be used as awning lights because they're already fitted, and I've got a backup system for the alleyway lights then. That way the alleyway lights have got 2 different ways of illumination and 2 different ways of powering, so hopefully that will prove useful. From what I can see, they've got 2 different light levels anyway, whether that's, this is a blue light actually, this is not actually one of the alleyway lights because they're still fitted to the side of the van at the moment, but I'm practicing with one of the blue lights I've kept back just to sod them out with. so I can see what's what. It looks like there's two different levels of illumination, judging by the way the wiring goes. I would assume one's brighter than the other. I don't know. I've never used the blue lights. There was no controller fitted when I got the van. So, but anyway, this is what I'm going to do. I don't know whether I'm going to put 6 in on one side or whether I'm going to put 12 in. I don't want to do what I did with the roof lights, which was to fit 2 strips of LEDs and then realise it was total overkill and then have to fit a second. Or fit a switch so I can do this and switch them down and switch them up. Because it was literally just too bright. It was I'd have to put a dimmer on them. Rather than buy a dimmer, I just put a switch in so I can switch down between one strip or the other. Right peeps, this is what I've done. As you can see, this is the spare blue lamp I showed you earlier that I had inside the van. I've stuck in a strip of LEDs. I've shoddily soldered in. I'm really not very good at soldering. I can't weld, I can't solder. Something I've never mastered, which is why I'm a spanner monkey. Heavy-handedness comes in handy when you're undoing big nuts and bolts. Anyway, as you can see, I've put in a strip of LED lights into the original light housing. This is one of the blue lights. I'm just using this as a test. Then I've got a rather convoluted system of a 12-volt bench power pack that's plugged into the mains that runs down to a couple of crocodile clips that run all the way along up to my power probe, and my power probe is wedged into the earth for the LEDs, and there's the light for the LEDs, and when you press the power probe, give it a live, they light up. So what I'm going to do is tomorrow I'm going to take this outside. I shall take off one of the alleyway lights, put the clear lens on this, put this up against on the side of the van and see what sort of light it gives out. I'm not expecting it to give out the same as these HIDs, because these HIDs are bleeding bright, but as I say, I'm not sure. So I'm just going to leave the one strip in for the moment, like that, and if that gives out the same sort of light as the alleyway lights do, then fine. If it doesn't, I should put another strip in the bottom and double the illumination inside. But you can see I've got 6 SMDs in there, and it seems quite bright, but you can't really tell unless you get it up against what's already there. So hopefully in the next couple of days I'll get another video up with the 2 scene lights, one running LEDs, one running the HID bulb, and we'll see. As I say, I don't want it to be as bright because this secondary lighting system inside is literally just for a porch light or an awning light, so it doesn't need to be as bright as the alleyway lights because they are bloody bright. Then they draw a lot of power. HID bulbs draw a lot of power, which is why they're wired up to the Phoenix system. So I've got the HIDs for the Phoenix system and the LEDs for the leisure system. Since the Phoenix system's only on with the engine running, it doesn't really matter about power consumption, but when I'm running some awning lights through the leisure batteries, I want to use as little power as possible. So once again, I'll have backup lighting and backup power in each light on the vehicle because I like overkill. Anyway, that's the end of this video for now, peeps, and I'll get back to you when I've either fitted the sink or I've sorted out these lights and fitted them to the side of the van. Peeps, just been out for a quick scrap run. First thing I picked up was this. Nice big deep round sink. Exactly what I wanted. Well, actually what I wanted was a triangular sink, but they don't seem to do them quite that depth. I never understood why people love using these camper sinks. They're rubbish, they're useless, they're too small. The sink's got a certain size to it to be useful, and that's very useful. I mean, obviously it's going to go further back against that wall. As you can see, there's a sort of a 4-inch gap between the work surface there. I may trim the back of the work surface off so it goes further back, but I don't think it really needs to do that. Yeah, I think that could work. The general idea is at some point along this side I'll cut across at an angle to here, where I will have another strip of this running along the top of that work surface. I may do, I may not, I may change this. I mean, obviously this is that sort of grey with a black, we can't really see, it's too bright, isn't it? That sort of grey with a black marble effect on it, and this is black with a grey marble effect, so it sort of matches quite well. I could have some nice tiles across the back there as a splashback. Obviously I've got to tidy the wiring up, but there you go. That's the sink I think I'm going to be using. It's mocked up in the place where it's going to be.